The phone softly vibrated on the center table, its radiant screen slicing through the subdued evening light of our living room. Alone in the room, I saw her name flash across the screen. Lisa and I had been married for 6 years, constructing our life in Austin around our daughter Emma and the small house we once dreamt of together. However, over the last few months, something seemed to have changed. Late nights at her design firm, fleeting smiles at her phone, conversations that ceased when I entered the room. I chose to ignore it, convincing myself I was overthinking. But then I read the message. "At Brian's place, don't be jealous." My heart constricted. Brian wasn't just any name, he was her ex. The one she had previously asserted held no significance. The casual tone of her message didn't feel innocent. It seemed calculated, as if she desired a response. For a long moment, I simply stared at the screen. Then I responded coolly, "I'm not jealous, I'm done, you'll be hearing from my lawyer." Her call arrived immediately. I observed the phone ring. I chose not to answer it. The truth is, this wasn't an unexpected development. For weeks, I had sensed something was amiss. Her business meetings coincided suspiciously with Brian's recent return to town. A couple of days ago, I inadvertently caught a message from him appearing on her phone. "Missed you last night." She dismissed it as an old memory, nothing serious, but doubts can be persistent. We shared a cloud account. Initially, I didn't mean to pry, but that evening I logged in. What I discovered shattered any lingering illusions. Photos of her and Brian at a bar, dated only a few days prior, showed them close and comfortable, more than just friends. Her message wasn't an assurance. It was a provocation, and my response altered everything. I contacted my sister to ask her to look after Emma for the night. I didn't want our daughter exposed to what was about to transpire. Then I requested a lawyer to initiate separation documents drafting. An hour later, Lisa stormed through the front door. Her complexion was wan and her eyes glistened with imminent tears. "This isn't as it seems," she hastily asserted, gasping for breath. I directed my phone towards her, displaying the photos. "You're at his house telling me not to be jealous," I murmured softly. "That's hardly innocent." Her countenance transformed. It wasn't outrage or denial, but fear. She comprehended that I was not bluffing. The messages, the images, the emails, yes, there were emails too. Exchanges, plans for meetings, jests about my predictability, laughing at my trustworthiness as if it were a subject of ridicule. "You thought I'd never look," I informed her, placing the printed documents on the table between us. "I didn't sign these or send them to his wife." That's when she collapsed entirely. Unbeknownst to her, I had already dispatched an anonymous message to Brian's wife with sufficient information for her to commence questioning. I didn't air out everything publicly. I didn't post anything on the internet. Lisa vowed to expose the truth openly during therapy, vowed to distance herself from him, claimed it was emotional confusion rather than affection, and pleaded for a second chance. However, trust doesn't weaken gradually. It fractures in one decisive moment. Emma resided with my sister for a while as things unfolded. The news spread subtly among shared friends. Some were taken aback. Others admitted they had observed an uncomfortable proximity between Lisa and Brian at social events. The marriage of Brian couldn't endure the confrontation. Lisa's professional life also suffered a setback, with clients keeping their distance, office rumors dogging her steps. She shared something cryptic online about learning from errors, but the responses weren't sympathetic or celebratory in any way. This wasn't retribution. It was enforcing boundaries. I relocated to a compact apartment near Emma's school, focusing on her schoolwork, art projects, and the joyous sounds of her laughter reverberating through smaller rooms that oddly felt calmer. Later, Lisa contacted me less frequently. Therapy provided her with a vital lifeline as her career faltered and friendships dwindled. I chose not to disclose the evidence publicly, as its impact was already evident. Time elapsed, and I resumed hiking in the serene, tranquil mornings once again. Emma often accompanied me on weekend strolls, sharing tales of her aspirations. A text message meant to provoke became the catalyst for transformation. Lisa presumed she could test me, mock me, conceal truths, and hold dominion. However, consequences are indiscriminate. I'm no longer writing this from resentment but clarity. I aspire for a future grounded in honesty, respect, and stability for my daughter. Lisa is now haunted by the reverberations of her own words. It wasn't jealousy that caused our downfall. It was choice, her choice to breach boundaries, and mine to finally draw a line. Gradually, Emma and I are rebuilding our bond, stronger than ever before. This occasion, there is no illumination from concealed sources aglow.